For those of you that are slightly older and starting this journey early, I've got a list of side hustles that are catered just for you. This is where your extra life experience can come into play and actually play a pivotal role in helping you with your side hustle. The simplest side hustle you can do is to do something adjacent to what you're already doing. Let's say, for example, you're a day-to-day plumber, fitting pipes, fixing bathrooms, whether you work on a building site or if you're a private plumber for hire, you just doing your normal job. What you could do is actually start looking into buying and selling plumbing supplies. It's something you already know, it's something that you can do. Maybe having a look at eBay, see if people are selling things, maybe partner up with them, looking for opportunities in what you're already doing to try and make some money in that field. You can also use your experience of a particular field to actually coach people. This is a huge one and something that always blows my mind, how many people are willing to pay for coaches, for training. And if you have something that you can offer, a skill that you can teach people, you are valuable. For example, I used to work in a bank. Because I was good at the interviews, the manager would come to me and say, X, Y, and Z is having an interview. Can you have a chat with them and go through it? I've had people offer me money to actually chat to them about how to actually get through a banking interview. It's crazy, but it is a scripted sort of process. So once you know how it works, and if you're in a profession and you know how that works, there are people that will want to know and will be willing to pay for it. Utilize your skills in order to do that. You might need to go on somewhere like Fiverr to set something up. There are tutoring websites online. You could even set up your own website and pay for some pay-per-click ads using Facebook to get the business going. It might cost you a little bit up front, but once you get that rolling, you can really start making some money. Then there is sort of income from properties. There's two types that I would probably look at if I were starting again. One of them is where you don't need any cash, and that's rent to rent. This is a little bit harder to do. It's basically where you find a property, so just a flat in a nice area maybe, that you can let out for a month. Then what you can do is you can actually rent that property on Airbnb or a similar site to that, bookings.com, etc., and get people that come in and stay per night. You can obviously then take the difference between the two, but that is a bit of a risk because you are paying for things up front, and if you can't get any bookings, you're in trouble. If you do that, make sure you talk to the landlord and make sure they're happy with subletting the property, as often that is against the tenancy agreement. The other and probably easier way to find money is through deal sourcing. This is something that I looked at myself and actually got a few £1,000s, and this is basically where you go look at properties. It's probably best to look in your area so you know it well for good opportunities. And what you do is you go to places, Jamie York, who operates a company, Steve Hamilton, they're always looking for property sources, and they have investors that are looking to purchase properties at a low price, and they will then buy that lead off you. You will then get a cut that can be around £1,000 per property that you source, and all you've got to do is go check it out, know it's undervalued, make sure it's not falling down, or even if it is, that if you did it up, you can actually get your money back. So there is a little bit of skill to that, but if you're one of those people like me that like looking on Rightmove and Zoopla just for fun, that's one for you. There's the obvious one, which is delivery drivers, Uber drivers, that kind of thing. I would say it's a little harder to make a decent amount of money doing that, but if you want a little bit of pocket money, say, £50-60 for every couple of days that you just go out during your free time, maybe when you're on your way back from work or on a weekend in the morning and you just want to quickly get an extra £50, that's a way to do it. There is another one for parents out there, which I actually know somebody that did this, and that's parent consulting. I was amazed that actually someone was willing to pay for this, but I guess if you've just had a newborn child, you don't know what you're doing, you can go and research as much as you can. As everyone knows, their mum always is the one that comes and helps, or their dad. On this, what you do is you offer guidance to younger parents based on your experience with your children. So you can talk to them about everything. The lady I knew that did this, she often talked to people about how to do their work-life balance after having children. And this is something that a lot of people who, especially if you live in a wealthy area, are very happy to pay for. Things like, how do you do homeschooling? What do you have to do in order to get that sort of rolling? If you've had any experience in that, you can also share that. And I think at the time, this was a few years ago, but the lady I knew that did this, kids, she charged around about £100 per hour and would often have a 1 hour one-on-one Zoom call with people. She did a Facebook post in some parenting groups, and that's how she got her leads. I think she was around 50, so a little older. Her kids had left. She'd gone through the entire cycle of bringing up kids, so she knew all about it, and she also worked in an area where she was involved with all the services and everything relating to childcare. So it was very easy for her to pass that knowledge on. But if you've got something similar, it's definitely a good way to do it, and most parents will happily pay a little bit of money in order to get some advice from someone who's been there and done it. Something that a lot of people, I think, need advice with is when they're going through changes in their lifestyle. There's all sorts of different stages going on in people's lives where they may need some advice from someone who's done it before. So major life changes like divorces, career changes, empty nest syndrome, you can offer practical and emotional advice to people. You don't need any qualifications to do these, as you are only providing support. If you've got something or been through something that you feel might help people, again, it's something that you can utilize. And being older, you'll have had more experiences, so you can utilize those and really leverage them. Another very interesting side hustle that is very rarely talked about and is actually something that is picking up steam is being a local tour guide. You'd be amazed how many people come to all sorts of different locations across the UK in particular. You've probably seen them, tourists, and you're wondering, what are they here doing? I get when they go to Stonehenge or somewhere like that, but when they're just on the high street walking around and you go, what are tourists doing here? Well, there are some nice things in Portsmouth, so I take that back. I remember seeing somebody who went on holiday. They had hired a local tour guide, and it's very common when you're out and about actually getting someone who's local. You don't need any qualifications to do this. You just need to know your area, all the interesting facts about the area. And most of the time, if you've grown up in an area, you know those anyway. So you're just sharing with someone. And I know a couple of people that have done this, and it's been really fun experiences as well. You don't get paid a ton of money, but for a morning or an afternoon, you might get paid a couple of £100 for taking a few tourists around. It's a good little side hustle and not something a lot of people are doing. Something I noticed had a lot of potential recently was I was looking through some old photos and chatting to a niece of mine about the toys that we used to use. When I mentioned a couple of toys, I went online, had a quick look at some of them, and they were actually going for massive money, and I couldn't believe it. And I thought, I wish I had actually kept a hold of some of my toys from when I was a little boy, because they would have been worth a fortune. Things like Magic the Gathering cards. I had some rare, well, now I know they are rare, Power Ranger toys. You might want to have a look through your attic to see if there is anything in your attic that could actually be worth a lot of money. This is a simple way to clear out things you don't need anymore, as well as earn a little bit of extra cash. You can also go online and look for things like that where someone might not have noticed and maybe flip these things. The second to last of my sort of more unique side hustles for older people is one that actually takes care of much older people, and this would be being an elder companion or concierge. I actually know somebody that does this full time, and their entire job is spending time entertaining, talking with, going out with various elderly people in and around London. They got this because they actually met somebody at a pub, an old gentleman, got talking to him, and they said that's what they do. They didn't have a job at the time, and they said, they actually, as a joke, said, I talk to old people for a living. And then the old guy found that incredibly funny and said, I'll hire you, as a joke as well. And as they got talking, it actually turned into something serious. He gets paid, not a lot, but it's fun. And he was on, I think it was around about £25 an hour. These elderly people would also take him places and would essentially treat him like their child. It's a little depressing in a way, but it's also really nice. And he has a lovely time. They have a lovely time, and it's something that I know they look forward to. He's actually offered a discount to quite a few of them now because I think he's starting to like them. So that's the only risk with this job, is it would really tug on your heartstrings, and I don't think I could do it. I would want to do it for free after a while, but it's something that you can try. Look on Facebook pages. There's plenty out there for sort of older people that are looking for people to hang out with. You could just put a post in there, say, look, I come, I'll help cook, clean, have a chat, maybe do your hair, all for X fee. It's something to consider. My final and probably the most fun of the bunch would be to actually make workshops for one of your hobbies. Let's say one of your hobbies is Magic the Gathering. You can actually run workshops for that where people can come attend. You can charge a small amount of money to have a group of people come round. The only issue with this is organizing the people, getting it, marketing it. But again, utilize Facebook, utilize Reddit. You know, there's tons of places online that you can get in and just say, you're running this, it's £5 per person. Then you get, 10, 15 people turn up. You can spend the morning playing what you like. You all have a meetup, swap cards, do whatever. And this could apply to anything. If you like remote control cars, race, you can do pools to enter the races. The winner gets some, you keep the difference. There's all sorts of stuff. Whatever your hobby is, think of a way that you can actually get people together who will enjoy it, you'll enjoy it, and you can earn some cash doing it. Those are some unique ways in which you can actually earn a little extra cash to help top up that ISA so you can keep on investing. If you've got any others you'd like to share, leave them in the comments below. And then thanks and good luck filling that ISA.